All right, that is the end of a news conference that just happened in Dadeville, Alabama. Pretty important update to this case, the shooting over the weekend at a 16th birthday party where 4 people were killed and 32 were hurt. We just got the information from authorities. They have arrested 2 teenagers. They tell us it's Reik McCullough, 17, and Travis McCullough, 16. So they've arrested 2 teenagers. They've charged them each with 4 counts of reckless murder. Let's bring in ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett now. Brad, I'm assuming you were able to hear that news conference with us. If you weren't, that was the important information they gave us. They talked a lot about the victims, of course, and we all still are thinking about the victims. But here, the important update was the arrest of these 2 teenagers. Your initial thoughts on how long this took? Was it a short period of time, long period of time? What are your thoughts?
Well, I wouldn't call it a long period of time. I mean, one of the issues you always have in cases with multiple victims is, and in this case, my guess is this was a targeted shooting, that the 2 juveniles that they are, or young adults that they have charged, the 2 teenagers, are obviously connected to at least one or more of the people that were injured or killed at this party. So on some levels, that makes it easier, only because there is a relationship or connection between the victims and the shooters. It's a small town. I suspect it just took the police a while to get enough information to actually charge them, because still one issue is if you charge too soon, sometimes you miss evidence. And in a case like this, you just don't want to do that. And so I would say this is about right, considering we're only talking about 3 days ago.
Yeah, and Brad, the police chief of Dadeville made it a point to say that immediately when this happened, he brought in state and federal officials. This, as you point out, is a small town, close-knit town, which is why he probably went larger. You think that was the right call at that point?
So it's interesting in that you see more and more small and medium-sized law enforcement agencies reaching out to federal and state law enforcement, in particular the federal, mainly for 2 things: more manpower that can reach beyond Alabama, which may or may not be relevant in this case. They bring, technical stuff. ATF would come to the table, FBI would come to the table, and to help them shape this case so A, they don't miss anything, and B, maybe even help them in how are you going to interview these 2? I don't know Alabama's law on this. The 16-year-old, I suspect, might have to have parental permission to interview him. All of those things, they may not have the expertise to do that. And so if you have the feds who teach this stuff and also have connections all over the country, they may be able to offer some insight, even through psychologists that the FBI works with, on how you interview juveniles.
And Brad, you know how cases like this are worked and how investigations like this are worked. Tell us what's been going on really since Saturday night when they began looking for the shooters in this case. Okay.
So clearly the key is you have to link these 2 shooters to that location. How do you do that? The following ways. You've got obviously a number of people that survived the shooting. They may have recognized one or both of the shooters. If they have the weapons at this point, did they link the shell casings that were found at the scene to these weapons? Did they find that these 2 teenagers purchased these weapons? Did they take them from their homes? All of those things become important because you want to put these weapons in their hands and, more importantly, put them at the scene. And so it's every one of those angles that I just mentioned, to include obviously things like the CCTV, cars leaving the scene, people that were out on the street when this occurred. Did they see 2 folks jump out of a car, run into this location, fire multiple shots, and then leave? Things like that. So again, the prosecutor and the police, with the feds and states' help, I think have now pulled this case together, at least for enough probable cause to arrest them. And hopefully they've gotten to the point where they feel fairly comfortable going to trial.
And Brad, maybe you can speak more generally about this, but it's 4 counts of reckless murder, and you heard a reporter there. It interested me when I heard it, too, because I know from state to state murder charges will differ. I haven't heard that term. Have you heard reckless murder before? And if so, do you know what it means?
I have. I will tell you, the South has some interesting ways to talk about murder. And so I think it goes back to perhaps the laws that were passed a long time ago. But you have to go beyond the words they're using and go to the statute and say what it's, is that premeditated murder? Is it first-degree murder? My guess is it probably is. I'm also going to guess because of their age, they may well have been charged as adults, or if not, they will ultimately be charged as adults.
All right. Brad Garrett, ABC News contributor and former FBI agent. We do appreciate the time and the expertise. And the authorities say they will specifically define reckless murder when they send out a press release earlier on today. Brad, thanks so much. Always good to talk to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.